Welcome to the Billionaire Mindset, your 30-day journey to thinking like a billionaire. Now you can just watch this video, or if you want to sign up for the entire series for free and get the bonus PDF companion calendar, check the link in the description below. Today is day 4, and we're going to learn the wake-up habits of billionaires. Enjoy.
What is my belief practice today? Today, I feel the fierce love of all that is God. So deeply, so strongly and so purely in my heart that it lifts and carries me, and sometimes I actually feel weightless in the love that is God, because I feel it in all things. I actually awaken to birds twittering in the morning now, the original tweets. And because I'm not so focused on, because I've reached a point in my life where I actually pay attention to every breath. And my spiritual practice is that I awaken, and the first thought is thank you. And the next thought is I'm still here in this body, and my heart's desire is to want to live and be in this body fully present to everything, to all beings, to all things, to not miss this experience of being here now on the planet we call Earth.
I get up in the morning, and I learned this years ago, and you go to the bathroom as you normally do, go back?
I have to go in the middle of the night, so.
Well, let's say then and in the morning, right?
Yeah.
So you get out there,
I'm like, I think I woke up at 3. It's only 6:30.
Exactly. You just sit there and you clear your mind. That's not easy. Our minds go fast. So I look at the wall, I look at the ceiling. Okay, it's the ceiling. That's the lamp. That's the bottom of the bed. There's my dog Susie outside, ready to jump in the Colorado River. I focus, right? Then I go right back, and maybe I'll look at a wall, and I'll just clear my head. Anything enters my head, I'll look at the doorway, I'll look at anything to go into present time. It only takes a couple, and just be. Sometimes I close my eyes, sometimes they're open, I just be. And then almost every single day what comes out of me, either quietly or verbally loudly, is Creator of souls, thank you for this incredible life you have given me, and help me see the truth and how I could spread goodness with this blessing you have given me. And then my mind is usually pretty clear, and then I go about my day. I don't think about things, what I'm gonna do during the day, nothing until that happens. And I'm probably good for that 95% of the time.
That's very impressive. What age did you start doing that?
Whatever it is, it just clears it.
You've done that how long?
Oh God, I'd say I couldn't even tell you, at least a decade, maybe longer.
Wow. Just
clears your head. Instead of meditating there forever, it's like exercising. There are many exercises you could do. Some it's an hour's worth of exercising, 2 hours, 3 hours, and all of a sudden comes along an exercise that takes 10 seconds, but exercises everything in your body. That was a shortcut, but to accomplish the same thing. So not that what I'm telling you and your audience surpasses meditating for hours. I'm sure that's probably great. I just didn't choose to do that and try and find a shorter time to do something that would normally take a longer time to achieve something good.
Now I'm going through and teaching myself neural networks and doing the same thing with machine learning and GANs and this and that, because AI is going to have more of an impact than the internet did. AI plus new types of chipsets plus 5G is going to change things far more than we've ever seen anything change. And understanding where and how to apply it is going to be critical, but just as important, knowing how to segregate and separate the bullshit, right, is as important, because every email y'all are about to send me is going to say, I have this AI solution and we're using algorithms. Yeah, of course you are, right? And then what? What really makes you different? What really sets you apart? But if I didn't do that work, if I didn't sit down and do the AWS machine learning tutorials, if I didn't go on YouTube and take, the NYU Introduction to Neural Networks or whatever, I'm not going to know it, I'm not going to be able to apply it, and I'm not going to be able to be first. And that's fun. That's fun. Knowing I get to kick the ass of some 22-year-old NYU graduate, that's awesome,
The first question you're going to get asked when you go to apply for a job, whether it's now or some point in the future, is what did you learn? What did you do? What skills did you add during the pandemic of 2020? And I think it's imperative to anybody looking to get a job, to really push themselves forward, to do better than their parents, to really place a focus on learning. I think you'd agree, Mike, and anybody watching, that one of the greatest skills that we all can have in the business world is a thirst for knowledge, just being excited about learning and knowing how to learn. And this really is the best opportunity ever for people to add to their skills, whether it's taking a Coursera class or, in the past I would have said reading a lot of books, but now having learned from my kids, going on YouTube and, watching tutorials and watching videos on various subjects. I learned how to write a three-layer JavaScript neural network on YouTube. And so there's a unique opportunity now for you to add skills, particularly in areas like artificial intelligence that are going to be in great demand that most people have not yet learned because, it's so recent that it's become really applicable.
The same thing I told myself, the same thing I tell everybody. One, you're 21, 22, 23 years old, right? You don't have to figure it out right now. Don't try, right? You spend all this money, paying to learn. Now it's your chance to get paid to learn. You don't need the perfect job. You just need to go somewhere where you'll learn and start to be exposed to different ideas. And now it's not like, when Greg 40 years ago was graduating.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
And me 5 years ago, it was like, get a career. And, the pressure was, get a career, go work for IBM or General Motors and get a pension. Those days are gone. People can't even pay their pensions anymore. And so you're a free agent. And you're always going to be a free agent on the market. You guys are the Kevin Durant's and LeBron James, where you're always out there and can go find a better situation for yourself. Do what's best for you. What have you got to lose? Like when I started my company, after I got fired by Michael Umecki, what was good? How bad could it be? I would lose my Motel 6 towel, It was just like, what have you got to lose? And yeah, I understand there's pressure from student loans, and there's a lot of conversations we can have there, right? But, you can get a job that doesn't have to be perfect. You can learn at that job, and you guys have the pedigree, you have the brains, you have the initiative to go out and try the next job, The good news is the economy is good enough that it may not be perfect, but you can go job to job. Don't look for the perfect answer. Just look to get the experience, look to learn, because all these different exposures, all the different things you learn, learning how to learn, that's what's going to get you excited and juicy for something that you love. Because once you find something you love to do, that's when the magic happens. Because when you're able to find something you love to do, then you can start focusing on, how can I be great at this? And like Greg found out he was a great networker. I like to, play with technology and try to do things first. Whatever it is that you find about yourself, then you can try to be great at it. And it's rare when people quit things they're great at. And so trying those things, so that's how I advise people. Don't stress, just go out and try different things.
I like to read more than most kids. I really like to read a lot. My Aunt Edie gave me a copy of the World Almanac, and that was heaven to me. And I can still tell you that the almost population was 214,006 in 1930. Some numbers just kind of stick with you. And very early, probably when I was 7 or so, I took this book out of the Benson Library called 1,000 Ways to Make $1,000. And one of the ways in this book was having penny weighing machines. And I sat and calculated how much it would cost to buy the first weighing machine and then how long it would take for the profit for that one to buy another one. And I would sit there and create these compound interest tables to figure out how long it would take me to have a weighing machine for every person in the world. First books I read on investment were actually in my dad's office. Pretty soon I read all the books in the office and read some of them more than once. A few years ago, I went to Amazon, and sure enough, they had this manual there. So, while reliving my youth, other guys were going to Amazon probably and buying old Playboys or something, but I bought old Moody's manuals instead. And when I got out of school, I started selling stocks. I was 20 years old at the time and looked about 16 and acted about 12. So I was not the most impressive salesperson anybody ever met. But what I would do was I went through page by page looking for possibly undervalued stocks.
I wake up really early every day, and I play tennis with somebody who's a lot younger and a lot fitter than me, and we play singles, and we give it everything we can, and end up sweating big time and having a lot of fun at this as well. And then if the wind is up, I'll go for a kite surf. Kiting's a lovely way just to get away from the mobile phones and just get out on the sea, and then after that come back, have a sort of nice healthy breakfast generally. So sometimes not so healthy.
You found your kryptonite.
And then I'm ready. Then I'm ready for the day.
I'm inspired by, life and all sorts of things. You can say something right now and it would inspire me to write a song or something to happen. Most kings just happen to be inspired by Basquiat drawing, the drawing, and he had the most young kings get their head cut off on the bottom. And I looked at that and I was like, it's powerful. Just the statement in itself, lends itself for a song. The song starts inspired by Basquiat. My chariot's on fire. Everybody took shots, hit my body up, I'm tired. And then it's this, they build me up to break me down, to build me up again. They like, Hov, we need you back so we could kill your ass again. It's like this thing, this love, hate thing that the world has with success, period.
You guys that are just getting started, you're not gonna start right here. You're gonna start down there. Okay, probably in another city, another town. I grew up in Lake Charles, Louisiana, no money, raised by a single mother. I was in debt at 25 years old. The first thing that I had to do in my life was not learn a new skill. The first thing I had to do to get my life moving in the right direction was self-development. It was vital for me that I improved myself and I could start depending upon me. I had to show up every day with some rituals, some disciplines, and start getting myself to trust me. Not trust others, but trust myself to do the right thing every day. One of the things that I started doing was beating the sun up every morning. I'm gonna beat that sun up every morning so that I have the discipline and the control over my life. So I knew, hey, before that thing pops, I'm gonna pop. I'm gonna get out of bed, depend on myself, get up at the same time every day. And for me, that time, regardless of where I was beat that sun up. No matter where I am, I'm gonna beat that thing up. So it gives me a sense of control over my own life. Second thing, I had to start cleaning up my life and my friends and my environment. When I was younger, between 15 and 25, I was doing crazy stuff in my life. Wasting my weekends. I have the saying, weekends are for the weak. I was drinking, fooling around with a bunch of bad things, bad people, making poor choices. At 25 years old, I cleaned it all up. Quit going to those places, quit using those things, quit hanging out with people that did not have ethics and discipline in their life, that weren't committed to the same things that I was. I wanted to build something in my life. I wanted to become someone. And to do that, to become someone in the eyes of the world, the first thing I had to do was become someone I could depend on. So put some things together, 3 or 4 things you can do every day to start the day, kickstart your day, get going in your day to give you a sense of respect for yourself, accomplishment for yourself. Look, just beating that sun up every morning gives me the sense of accomplishment, that I did what I said I was gonna do, that I woke up when I said I would wake up, and I start building respect for myself, start believing in myself so that I can go out into the world and maybe today when I go into this meeting that I'm dressed for, maybe They'll believe in me as much as I believe in me, and that'll show up in a contract, a deal, maybe even some money. People got to keep working on themselves.
Yeah. Trying new things.
You got to give something up. Like, I'm always giving stuff up. My life changed when I gave stuff up. When I was 25 and I gave drugs up, I'm like, okay, I'm done. And then you give up your friends.
Right.
Because when you start changing, they're going to go.
People don't like it.
They're going to go, or you're going to come back.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're not, I truly believe that if you're not changing your friends, you're not changing. Your friends should be, they should be like...
Every few years, a cycle.
Yeah.
Or they should be changing, growing with you.
They're not going to grow with you.
Really? Well, I hope I'm,
They'll grow later.
I hope I'm friends with you in 10 years.
Yeah, but well, we will be.
Yeah.
We will be, you know, but like I know, I dated this girl. Her friends were her childhood friends. She never changed.
Yeah, it's tough.
None of them changed. The whole group never changed. Like, for me to change, I can't think if me and you are best friends that me and you are going to have, we're going to change at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
We have different reasons to change throughout life, right?
Right.
And Elena and I, we'll have different times when we want to change. My kids are going to change and they're going to leave. 100% they're going to leave. Right. They're like, I don't want to do this anymore.
Right.
And they're going to go from flying private back to flying commercial.
Until they coach.
Until they figure out how to fly private, right. if they even want to do that.
Yeah.
But I've always said, I've changed so many times. I've moved. I've been 5 or 6 different cities. That's been great for me. Every move has been better for me.
Uh-huh.
I've changed friends. I've had lifelong friends that I know them, but
you're not hanging out every day.
No, I moved on.
Training. If you're not going to train, then put a sign on your desk, I quit learning a long time ago, and see how many people want to buy from you. Tell your family, go home and tell your wife and your kids, I quit learning, I quit reading, I quit studying, I quit training, I can't get any better. Put on there, done, I'm finished, I'm in retirement early, I'm going to purgatory, I'm gonna wait it out, cross my fingers, and hope they bring me to sales heaven. Look, you're done if you don't train, okay? Now I know you know this, you've heard it, I hate to tell you this. My boy McGregor, Conor McGregor or McGregor? My boy Conor McGregor. Okay, I went and saw him fight in New York. I went and saw him fight for one reason, because I saw him say, I'm not the best. This isn't about talent. It's because I'm obsessed. I out-train everyone else. I have to win so bad, I train. Look, if you're not training, that says something about your obsession or lack of obsession with winning. I want you to win. I know your wife or your husband, your spouse, your family members, your kids, your mom and dad want you to win at the next level, no matter what they tell you. Even if they tell you you're doing great, pat you on the back, you know the truth. You know the truth. The only way to win is to train. The only way to win is to read. The only way to win is to learn more, listen more, learn something new. Look, we're in a time like we've never been before. Technologies come and go faster than people do. Things are changing like this, whether it's video you're using or social media or Snap or short videos or videos that disappear or videos that stay or text messaging that you can create to push and market and brand yourself, called text messaging, which I've been using a lot. Look, the world's changing. And if you're saying to yourself, I'm too old to learn that, well then guess what? You're too old to learn that. If you can't learn anything new, just put, I'm ripe and I'm about to fall off the tree and nobody's gonna want me. Look, man, you gotta train every single day like your life depends on it. Train every single day. I am here today. I own these 4 companies that I own, the studio, my reputation, everything is because when I was 25 years old to when I was 30 years old, every single day, I trained watching video every day. I'd watch the video, I'd walk in, and then I would role play, and then we would do a sales meeting every single day.
Just this depression thing. This is a topic that interests me so much.
Have you ever dealt with it at all, Grant?
Totally.
Okay.
Almost my whole life.
Still? A little bit?
No, well, what happens is socially, we say it's depression. But what if it wasn't depression and it was just truth? That I'm having to sleep with my own truth, that I can do more, right? So why wouldn't I be a bit depressed if I have this potential and I'm operating here? Every individual knows what they're capable of, right? So if I know I have this much potential and I'm living here, wouldn't I be like a little bit disappointed with myself? Yes. Now, what happened because back in the 50s, there was no depression. Nobody was talking about depression. People were talking about, how do I get to the next level, right? Today, in our psychiatric community, where drugs are, where the average American has 8 prescriptions sitting in their medicine cabinet. Like, I'm on one drug, I gotta take a second drug to handle the third drug because of the blood pressure drug, because of this drug. And dude, I'm stacking out like, why? Because I was depressed? Why am I depressed? Because I don't look like, I don't have his arms. Mm-hmm. I have the potential to have his arms. Maybe not. Okay.
Pretty close,
but it would require me to go to work, right? Or I need to look a different way, or I'm aging, or whatever the deal is, right? Like, so for me, I have always struggled with depression. But it was more because people were telling me I was depressed, when the truth is I was just disappointed, man.
Me too.
I was disappointed with me.
Me too.
You know, my mom would always tell me, my mom was always the first person I would call anytime I scored. And she was my best friend. And she passed when about 9 years ago, when Sabrina was born. 5 days later, Sabrina was born. And every score I had, I was 51 years old, man. Between 25 and 51, every score I had, my mom was the first person I called. Mom, I did this. Every time, she had the same response. Son, that's great, but I love you just the way you are. Over and over, she told me that. And then one day I'm like, but I don't. Now, I can't really say that. A whole bunch of people are going to say, why don't you love you just the way you are? Something wrong with you, because there's that whole culture out there. This I don't know what the term is, but it's this holistic idea that you should love yourself the way you are. I would tell everybody, dude, if you know that you can do more, do not love who you are. Achieve who you can be, because you can be more. He's done it. I've done it. And I did it by replacing the depression concept, not doing the drugs, by the way. I was put on them like 5 or 6 times, and threw them away and just said, you know what? I'm going to go for my goals. I'm going to go for my potential. If I'm going to screw this up, I'm going to screw it up Grant's way, not their way. And unfortunately, because we have so much attention on our physical capacity and limitations, 5'8", you know, I've been a little guy my whole life. Got to feed myself 3 times a day because I'm hungry. I got to urinate, you know, sometimes with my buddy. I gotta sleep 9 hours a day, 8 to 9 hours a day. I'm reminded I'm a body, which has been a deception for me, because that's not what I'm not limited to just that. And so it's been a big trick, thinking, oh, I just got to take care of this. I got to clothe it. I got to protect it. I got to worry about it. The older you get, the more you worry about it. Kids can do almost anything. You know, kids can jump off they can jump out of a car, roll around on the damn grass, and pop up and say, yeah, that was fun, let's do that again. You do that to me, man, I'm like, dang, that hurt, right? So you can see a kid flying down a mountain at 70 miles an hour, man, I'm terrified, because I'm gonna break something. So it's that concern about me, is something gonna happen to me? If I wouldn't have been concerned about myself, my God, I could have done anything, man. I would have already done it. So that's how that's been a big limitation, what Ed's talking about. The capacity of the individual is, I don't think I've even remotely scratched. Hopefully if I can come back, if anybody believes in that kind of stuff, then I can come back with, oh my God, man, maybe I'm not just 5'8", 170 pounds, you know, little tiny ones.
Got some good guns right now.
Okay. But maybe I can do more than just the physical limitations that I impose on myself.
Explain how you went from a salesman who was in it and hated it.
Yeah.
To then, you know, you moved on and became self-employed, and then you were speaking about sales, and you're like a sales expert. So that's what, 20 years in between, or 10 years?
Yeah, no, there was maybe 25. By the time I'm 26, I'm the top 1% of all salespeople in the auto industry. I didn't really know what that meant, but it was important to me that I was very good at what I was doing now. Now I was in. I went from hating a job in car sales. I remember going out with this girl, and she said, what do you do? And I said, I'm a car salesman. And she got that look on her face like, oh my God, that's worse than a man.
Yeah.
You know? I mean, and I had this terrible thing. I'm like, okay, I'm going to get great at it. I started studying sales every day. I started recording interviews. Like literally, you'd come in to buy a car from me, and I hired my mom. My mom was 70 years old at the time, and I hired my mom, and I said, you sit over there and you take notes.
Really?
And watch her. Watch when I lose her. Watch what happens, and we're going to debrief at the end of the deal. And I'm going to see what's working and what's not. I'm recording myself, videoing myself. I'm using every little piece of technology 30 years ago I can to find out what am I doing right, what am I doing wrong. And what I was doing, I didn't know it then, but I was basically codifying sales. I was learning. What does it mean when I say I'm going to think about it? When is that real? When is it not? What does it mean when it says the price is too high? When's that real? When it's not? And I started codifying and writing, taking notes, keeping all this information. I didn't know this would happen, but 5 years later, I'm out on the road, knocking on doors, selling a new way to sell things.
You've got this incredible team. What do you look for? Like, how do you find these incredible people? How do you keep them motivated?
Yeah, well, I don't find them, and they find me. And so what we do is we get the beacon. The how does Facebook attract talent? They don't need to go find them. It's like meat to a shark. It's like I'm coming. I smell the blood in the water. So they're going to Facebook, right? How do you attract great talent? This is what people ask me every day. How do you attract great people? Dude, get so freaking beaming hot white light that people are like, I want to work on that project. I went and saw Hobbs and Shaw last night. It did $333 million. It's got Rock and Stay the Minute. $333 million opening weekend worldwide. $1/3 of $1 billion, dude. Like, ridiculous. Great movie, by the way. I had a blast watching it. But, how does that much money go to one place? How did that many great people work on that movie? Because who's involved in it, right? So, greatness attracts greatness. And so these people call, hey, I want to work for you. I had a kid today come out, I want to work for you. It's a good deal. I don't hire people. Like, I'm not the hire guy. I'm the guy that's creating new opportunities, though, that people want to stay. They want to stay in the theme park and become their own show. So if you notice, I show off my people a lot. I don't keep them behind the scenes. I'm like, here, let's have more than the Grant show. Let's have the Grant, the Frank Kern show, the Brandon Dawson show, the Jared show, the Ryan Secco show, the real estate show. Let's show the G&E show, Elena and myself. Let's bring other people and partners in. Why do I do that? Where am I learning that? Great companies. Great companies grow their brands and scale out and do a lot of different things. One, people should be investing in the beginning and just in themselves. Every chance you get to go to something that could possibly help you, if it has a 1% chance of even adding to the value you have spend the money. Don't sit on money. Money's useless. So if you have $5,000 left in your account, I would spend the whole $5,000 on yourself. When you spend money on yourself, you're going to start getting better at whatever you're doing. If you just keep doing it, if you keep spending it, just because you spent it once and it didn't work, go do it again. And then again, and then again. That has been one thing in my life. Like if you ask me, hey, what's one thing? I always invest in me first. Not the business.
Not the business.
Not the real estate, me. My condition. How am I doing? Am I around the right people? Am I listening? I don't care what it is, dinner, lunch, charities. I just go to anything where I think there's other people doing well. I just want to hear somebody say something that just inspires me.
So how much you reckon you invest in yourself every year right now?
Oh, last year I probably spent, a couple $100,000. I've spent more than that. And I'd still spend more than that. So it starts with me, right? How good a condition I know people out there spend more money on their car than they do themselves. They pay $300, $400, $500 a month on their car and think nothing of it. Won't spend $500 on themselves. It's ridiculous. It's completely backwards. You're paying the man. You're paying for food. You're paying for groceries. You're paying for movies. You're paying for bullshit. You went and bought a house. That was the dumbest thing anybody could do. It's the dumbest thing I ever did was buy a house. I bought a house and I didn't improve myself. I was improving the house. I spent more time picking furniture out than I did, hey, how do I fix me? How do I get faster? More confident. Because I bring my confidence or lack of confidence to every table. Nobody ever taught me when I was going to school, 17 years of school, nobody ever said, hey, maybe you want to stack up some experiences. And then what happens is kids, rather than going to college, what they do today is they'll go travel for a year. Dude, what? You ought to flip it. Go get your work ethic in. bank some money. I'm gonna do this left-handed. Bank some money and then go on the trip of your life. Oh, left-handed, I'm so good. I'm so good at everything. You gotta have confidence, man. So look. And the confidence comes from doing stuff. The confidence comes from doing business, not from traveling, right? Like I know people that traveled when they were young and then they go back into the workplace, into the business place, and they're like, dude, I don't have any confidence in business. You wanna have confidence in business, confidence in money, confidence with your family, confidence that you can go places. And look, money might not make you happy. I know some of you believe that, but it gives you the security to go where you want, do what you want, and stay as long as you want, if you can get that money right.
Look, if you don't have your thing, whatever it is, the job, the money, the girl, your goals, your dreams, you gotta leave where you are. You can't win a mission from home. We don't win wars at home. You understand? You gotta go someplace. The world's changing. How many agree the world's changing right now? Dude, the world is changing. It's changing so fast, right? You gotta take the old ideas that you have and you gotta look at them again today and say, hey, is this true anymore? Is it true? What am I doing? What are me and the wife doing? What business are we building? Do I need to work for myself? Do I really? Or do I need to find the right vehicle that can go far enough, long enough, provide enough revenue for the right people, and get to the top of the food chain?
You got to change your friends. Whoa. If you're friends, you need to make these people your friends. People that have time to get away, people that are working, people that are creating. Surround yourself with people that are doing things, that are seeking to be better. I was hanging around people that were destroying themselves every day. People that were criticizing others that were successful, that were wasting time. Beautiful rock. They weren't looking for anything except how everybody else was wrong, how they had been wronged. I know because I was doing this. Spent all my time talking about how the rich guy that had his kids in tennis classes and golf classes, and they had a boat and they went skiing, how he was such a prick. And when reality, oops, sorry guys, didn't mean you to hear that. When in reality, she didn't hear that. When in reality, I should have been looking at, dude, what did this guy do to create a situation where he could pay for his kids to learn tennis, if they want to, golf, and skiing? I was asking the wrong questions. I would tell my 20-year-old self, change the questions you're asking. Change the way you look at things. Quit being so resentful and hateful. You know, get your game together, dude. You hang around people that are changing will not change you. I know this whole mastermind thing, we have masterminds and I believe they're great, they're awesome. But if Ryan back there hangs around me and I'm changing, that don't mean he's gonna change. So look, I've seen this for 30 years. You know, I've gone places where the only reason everybody went there was because they were working on themselves, changing, improving, courses, classes, education. Elena and I, actually, great story about Elena and I. The only reason people went to these places was to improve themselves, okay? I gotta tell you something. Only about 10% of the people that went there flew. They were changing. They were actually making the changes. The other people were hanging around people changing. Just because you're around people changing doesn't mean you are gonna change.
You got to do the work.
To change, my brothers and sisters. You got to change. You know, Ryan hangs around me. If I change my clothes, that don't mean he changes his. If everybody in the house changes their clothes, takes a shower, put some deodorant, it don't mean if Ryan does not change his clothes and take a shower and put on his deodorant, he gonna stink.
Dropping bombs.
To change, you gotta change. It doesn't matter how many people you hang around that are changing. If you hang around everybody just getting rich, getting wealthy, doing great, creating stuff, and you're not gonna change. To change,
You got to change.
I don't need to spend time with a mentor. I need to study a handful of people that have proven over time that they were important and that they did something. Walt Disney, he's a mentor of mine. One guy almost went bankrupt 3 times. That is a spiritual adventure. Like, hey man, how do you do that? How do you have a dream? Howard Schultz with Starbucks. I don't like his political viewpoints, but I do like the fact that everybody told him Starbucks was a bad idea. He's like, yeah, okay, well, whatever. It's a terrible idea. Steve Jobs, total maniac, like neurotic. I wouldn't do any of that stuff, but I do like the guy's ferocious commitment. So if I can rob those pieces from different people, right, and say, hey man, I want to be more like that guy or that gal, right? You know, so you know what I'm saying? Like that's my deal. Like, how can I mix it up with Jared? I'm interested in leaving something that lasts longer than I do.
Now I've got some special bonus clips that I think you're going to enjoy. But before that, it's time for the Billionaire Mindset question of the day. I want to know, what was your single biggest takeaway from this video and your plan of action for the next week? Also, if you've already got your Billionaire Mindset companion PDF calendar, get ready for another amazing video tomorrow. Or if you don't have it yet, you can get it for free in the first line of the description below. And if you're enjoying this Billionaire Mindset series, give me a hashtag Billionaire Mindset in the comments below so I can celebrate you.
Every day you have to get a little bit better. Every day you have to learn a little bit more, improve a little bit more, build a little bit more self-confidence, self-belief, self-love every single day. Because if you are only getting motivated in these little spurts, what's going to happen is you fall back to your normal life. You fall back to who you used to be, and you never accomplish the life that you know you're capable of. I think it's super common with entrepreneurs. We have these moments where we feel bold, we feel unstoppable, we feel powerful. Maybe you watch a video like this, maybe you go to an event, maybe you hang out with somebody and you realize, yeah, this is what I should be doing. This is what I'm capable of. And then what happens the next day? You wake up and you're back to who you used to be. You're back to being full of self-doubt, back to being full of self-criticism, back to feeling like it's just not gonna happen. And so then you don't do anything. And I want you to get off the roller coaster ride. It's just constant, like up and then back down. And then next week it's up for a day and then back down. And the way to do it is to focus on every single day getting a little bit better. I think it's super important to have a morning routine. If you want to put the Inspressos here, this series is part of your morning routine, I'd be honored to be with you and help coach you and guide you for your life. But this is why I make the videos. I make my videos for me. Part of my morning routine every day is I want to watch a video from my channel. I'm a visual learner. I like seeing things instead of just hearing things or reading things. I like seeing it in front of me. So I make videos. I've made thousands of videos, and every day I watch one. Because no matter how great today was, maybe I learned a lesson from Warren Buffett, awesome. Like, yeah, I got to do this. I got to invest in myself. What's going to happen is tomorrow I'm going to wake up and go back to old Evan Carmichael. And so I need to be pushed forward again. You're probably the most ambitious person you know. I mean, part of the problem of why you're stuck is you're around other people who help keep you stuck. You're the one pushing other people forward. You're the one giving motivation and inspiration and showing other people what can be done. But who's pushing you? Who's the person in your life saying, hey, you're capable of more? From a loving place, right? Not, you should be doing this. Everybody's got an opinion on what you should be doing with your life. But from a loving push forward to say, you could be doing more. I believe in you. You're awesome. You could be Michael Jordan at something. Go do it. We just don't have these people in our lives for the most part, right? You're that person for other people. And so I get it through the videos, and you need it every single day. It's like brushing your teeth, right? If you stop brushing your teeth, you're gonna get cavities. If you brush your teeth once a week, you're gonna get cavities. Every day, it's gotta be every day. You need it every single day. So put it into your morning routine. Whether you love videos, whether you love books, whether you love podcasts, whatever. What are you doing, Nina?
Just don't film me, jeez.
Whatever you love doing, right? Whatever is your way of learning, whatever gets you fired up, motivated, inspired, that needs to be part of your daily routine. And the trick for me is find the source. So if you love my videos, awesome. There's tons of them. You'll have no shortage of Evan Carmichael videos to go watch. If you've learned something from somebody I've profiled, if you love Warren Buffett, then great. jump off of the Evan Carmichael channel and go watch Warren Buffett videos or go read Warren Buffett books. If there's a podcast that you love listening to and it inspires you, great, put that podcast as a part of your daily routine. There's no one size fits all for everybody, but just pay attention to the feeling. When you leave watching a video, when you leave reading the book, when you leave listening to a podcast, do you feel better about yourself? Do you feel pumped up, inspired, ready to go take action? Because all you need is that little moment of courage. If watching this video gets you inspired, don't expect that this one video is gonna inspire you for the rest of the day, right? That's not, we have too high a judgment on things, right? It's like, well, I watched the video and I was pumped up for 30 minutes or an hour and then things fell back. Yeah, well, that's normal. That's what will happen. The difference is you use that energy to go make something. It's why at the end of these videos, I'm always so focused on what are you gonna do about it? You got inspired, awesome, now what? What's your plan of action? What are you gonna do? What's your plan for this week? To use that inspiration that you get and then give yourself the courage to go take some kind of action. That's it. Don't get upset that the motivation fades, the inspiration wears off. That's okay, that's normal. What are you doing in those 30 minutes, 60 minutes, 2 hours that you feel pumped up for, that you feel things are possible for? What action are you taking? I think it's the most important thing. And so if you are waking up every day and feeling like you're not capable, like it's not gonna happen, and you just have these little moments of inspiration, I need you badly, you need you badly to make part of your morning routine the thing that gets you the most fired up, the most bold, the most confident, the most passionate about doing something. Put that in your morning routine. You're just taking a sip. You're taking off, you can leave. Nina's going to an appointment. That's gone. We love you, Nina. Whatever makes you feel that boldness into your morning routine every single day, schedule it in, follow through, because if you woke up and did the thing that made you feel bold, that made it feel possible, that made you feel like you can do this, right? Whatever that thing is, if you woke up and you did that thing and you felt bold for the first 30 to 60 to 120 to 180 minutes of the day, if that was you, you're gonna create amazing things. If you woke up and you don't do that consistently, you're gonna stay stuck where you are. So let's make it happen. So action item, write down, like now, while you're feeling a little bit bold, a little bit more confident, a little bit more belief, how are you gonna start your day tomorrow? What are you gonna do tomorrow? The first 30 minutes, first 60 minutes of your day, what are you gonna do? What gets you the most bold, fired up, inspired? What is it? Write it down. And then how can you start your day with it tomorrow? Plan it right now. Create the playlist, take the book out, right? Put it on your bedside. Line up the audio podcast, right? Get the YouTube channel ready to go so that tomorrow morning when you wake up and you don't have as much energy as you do right now, it's just one click away. It's right there in front of you. You just have to press the play button so that tomorrow you can have an amazing day, and the next day after, and the next day after, and the next day after, because you deserve it. Because you have a big message, you got a big mission. The world needs what you've got. And to do that, you have to invest in yourself. Get yourself bold every morning and go create amazing things.
When you focus on progress instead of the end result, that's where I think you can keep your motivation, keep your belief. When I first started making my videos, I wasn't getting any results, right? Nobody was watching, nobody was commenting. I felt like a loser, right? Like, nobody cares, it's not happening, I'm not getting the results. Understand that you very rarely ever get results at the beginning. If you focus on just getting the results at the beginning, you're likely gonna get too discouraged and quit. It's not that the results aren't important, it's just people have a too short an attention span, and when you focus on the results at the beginning, it is too discouraging and you do give up. Instead, you focus on the progress. Are you getting better? Are you learning? Was your video better than last time? Did you show up with more energy than last time? Did you have better points than you did last time? Was that sales call you did better than the one last time? Was your next test better than it was yesterday, right? Are you getting better? Because if you can say, I'm getting better, if you're making videos and you look back a week later, a month later, and say, man, I still suck, but I'm better than I was a week ago, a month ago, and you can focus on the progress at least for me, it really helps fuel my motivation, my belief in myself that, hey, if I made that growth from here to here, then I can make more growth from here to here. And at the beginning, here's the thing, at the beginning, the growth is pretty fast. When you're learning something from scratch at the beginning, you actually learn very quickly. It's at the end that it gets harder. For me right now, to keep getting better is harder. I don't see as big a return on my progress as Evan Carmichael growth from last week to this week, from last month to this month. How much better am I on camera from last month to this month? Not that much. It requires even more effort and even more mentorship and even more practice and training to get better as when you're close to the top. At the beginning, you can learn really quickly and there's a lot of progress. The flip side for me now is there's lots of results, right? When you start actually getting good, that's when the results kick in. So then you can start focusing on the results. Say, hey, is this working or not? Is this video doing better than the last one or not? Because you start getting some data and results to work with. So at the beginning, you're focusing on the progress. Am I getting better? Am I improving? And am I learning? Is it better than I was last week? And then as that starts to taper off, you might get frustrated with your progress, but good news, you're gonna start seeing results come in, and that'll keep you motivated to keep going as well.
The fastest path for you to get the success you're after is to model success. The idea here is simple. You find people who have already done the thing that you want to do, learn from them, understand what they did to get there, and then try on their hat, right? See what worked for them and apply it to your business. This is what worked for me. This is what saved my company. Bill Gates saved my first company, even though I've never met him. I haven't yet. We're gonna make it happen, hopefully soon. I was struggling. I had a upstart software company that wasn't making money, and I quit on my business partner, and I woke up the next day and said, I need to find a way to make this happen. I can't quit on this too soon because I'm gonna regret it if I don't keep going. And so I said, who has done this before? Who's done this? And I thought of Bill Gates. This is the first person that came to mind was Bill Gates. So I looked at his story and how did he build Microsoft? Well, it was through partnerships. And so I started making partnerships in my business. I had nothing else to lose. I was already at rock bottom, right? I had already quit on my partner. It was hopeless. So let's just give this a shot. And within, I don't know, a couple months, maybe even sooner, I landed my first partnership deal for $13,500. And at the time, guys, I was making $300 a month. So that money meant the world to me. Like that was bank. And more important than that, it gave me hope, this could happen. This business could actually work. And it gave me a model to then go and do it again and again and again. And ever since then, whenever I don't know what to do, I model success. I find someone who's done it and I try to apply their strategies and make it work for me. But this is the important thing. Not every strategy is going to work the same way for them as it did for you. So maybe waking up early is your ticket. Maybe waking up later is going to be your ticket. There's people who've done both. Which is the one that's going to work for you? You won't know by sitting on the couch and thinking about it. The best thing you can do is just go and try. You try on their hat, right? Bill Gates did this. Dan Lok does this. Bruce Lee does this. Awesome. Try it.
The fastest way to accomplish anything in life is to model success. You want business success, you want relationship success, you want financial success, whatever it is you want to learn. Somebody's done it. And the fastest way to learn is to go find somebody, understand what it took for them to become a success, and then apply it to your business, to your life, to your situation. The problem is we feel like we have to do everything ourselves. That you don't know what to do, so I'm going to figure this out, right? I'm creative, I'm a genius, I can figure it out. And yes, you can, but chances are it's going to take you a lot longer. Instead of trying to come up with everything yourself, it's better to build upon what other people have already done. They could take you 80% of the way. It's not going to be 100%, right? If you're trying to get big on YouTube, great, you can copy what I'm doing. But it's not going to take you 100% of the way. It'll take you 80% of the way. Because if all you do is copy me, you're going to be an Evan Jr., which will take you a good chunk, but at best, you're gonna be a junior Evan. You're never gonna be what you could be. And so you need to take what I'm doing, learn from it, but then tweak that last 20% to make it your own. How do you take what other people have done and then tweak that last 20% to make it your own? But modeling success takes you 80% of the way. This is the biggest mistake I made when I was starting up as an entrepreneur, right? I told this story a bunch, but I was 19, I was struggling, I was making $300 a month. I'm too embarrassed to tell my friends that I'm struggling. I'm not having success. I feel like a loser. I feel like I'm not making any money, not just feel like it, I wasn't making any money. And I tried to think my way out of everything. I was working my face off, right? Like every waking hour almost, I was working. It wasn't for lack of effort. I was just doing the wrong things because I didn't know what to do, because I was just trying a whole bunch of stuff. And then that worst day of my life, when I told my partner that I quit, I just woke up the next day and said, I can't quit because I'm going to regret this. I know I'm going to regret this. If I stop now, I'm going to regret it. I have to find a way to keep going. But the way that I keep going has to change, because what's going on now, this can't keep going on. If you're frustrated with the lack of momentum towards accomplishing your goals in life, like if you're in the same spot that you were a year ago or relatively close, the problem likely could be lack of effort, but is also likely you're just doing the wrong things. You're just focused on the wrong model. And so go find somebody who's done what you want to do. For me, I studied Bill Gates. I was out of pure desperation. I was not a genius when I was 19 and trying to figure out my way. I was at rock bottom. I just said, somebody has built a software company before. This can't be so hard, right? And I looked at Bill Gates and how he started, right? How did he start? 0 to 1. That's what you need to study, because if you look at what people are doing now, one, it's going to be hard to compare yourself to. If you compare yourself to what I'm doing now, I have 20-something people on my team. You can't, don't expect yourself to keep up with what I'm doing right now. Don't expect to keep up with 11 years of experience, right? You're not going to be as good when you first get started. That's okay. But how did I start? How did I keep going? Whoever you're looking at, look at their foundation story, how they started, and chances are you already have more than what they started with.
The trick to getting yourself into action mode is to trigger yourself for success. Triggering yourself for success means you've taken the decision making out of it, that as soon as you come up with an idea, you have trained yourself by default into action mode. You see, your brain will always talk you down from things because it's trying to keep you safe, and it only understands a world that currently exists that is logical and practical. Until you learn to trigger yourself for success, you will constantly doubt your thoughts, your ideas, and your actions. This video is gonna help. So today, I want to talk about this bag right here. A lot of you leave comments, the newer fans of the channel say, why is Doritos sponsoring your videos? Evan, why don't you have a healthier sponsor? Don't you know what bad Doritos does to your body? You should be promoting healthy living. Doritos is not a sponsor, guys. This is triggering me for success every single day. And this isn't just some tiny bag. It looks small looking back here, but let me bring this up. Look at that. This is right next to my face. Look at how big that bag of Doritos is. I have a strategy, and it's a weird strategy, so maybe you'll love it, maybe you won't, but I have a strategy called Damn the Doritos. I look at this bag. So I'm sitting, this is how I'm working, right? I'm not sitting, I'm standing. I'm standing on a trampoline. This is my workspace right now, right? I'm standing here, I'm working. In the corner of my eye, I got Steve Jobs up here, and I got this giant bag of Doritos. All I want to do is eat this bag all day long. I want to destroy this bag of Doritos. Look at that giant chip. Oh, I'm gonna start drooling soon. I love it. I wanna eat that all day long. This bag is here as a reminder of how great I am. This is the mental conversation inside my head. Evan, you're awesome. You're awesome for not eating those Doritos every day. And I want it as a reminder. People say, doesn't it take a lot of willpower? No, it builds, for me at least, builds the willpower. Builds my strength. Every time I see that bag of Doritos, makes me feel better about myself, that I'm not eating it and I have the strength to keep going. And so why I have that here is when you're on a diet, right? This is how it began. When you're on a diet, your friends, your family, the experts will say, get rid of all the junk food from your house, get rid of it all, because otherwise you'll be tempted and then you're gonna eat it and then you're gonna ruin your diet. I think that is actually teaching yourself that you suck. You're teaching yourself, I'm a weird duck, you're teaching yourself that you are not strong enough to be around the thing, and so I need to get it out of my environment. The only way that I can stick to this thing is if this other stuff is nowhere close to me. I think you're telling yourself that you suck. I think it's a big crutch. And just like when you break your leg, you have a crutch, your ultimate goal is to not have a crutch. It's to walk, it's to run, it's to be stronger than before, right? And so as a step one, maybe it's good, right? As a step one, okay, fine. You broke your leg, you have a crutch. You want to get on a diet, you're addicted to junk food, get out of the house, awesome. But as soon as you go on vacation, as soon as you go to an office party, as soon as you go to New Year's, any kind of party, you're gonna destroy the food because you've trained yourself every day that you suck, that you're not capable. I think you're a genius. I think you're stronger than you think. And so I tested it first with myself, and I thought, you know what? Doritos are my nemesis, right? I love Doritos. Oh my gosh, just looking at that bag. So I went to Costco and bought the giant size bag of Doritos. I said, I'm gonna put this on my desk all day long. Because damn the Doritos, because the Doritos are stronger than me? I don't think so, right? I'm Evan Carmichael. And same thing for you. That thing that is holding you, that's stronger than you? I don't think so. Remember who you are. Remember how strong you are. And that's what this is here for. And it's been awesome to see people now take this up. A friend of the channel, Liron, was trying to get off of sugar. And he has this coffee cup with a saucer, and he drinks his morning coffee. And he put 2 packets of sugar on the saucer right next to the coffee. So he pours his coffee, has the sugar right next to it, and then he just starts drinking it and puts it down and looks at the sugar packs, and then just drinks the coffee again and puts it down, looks at the sugar packs, and his wife thinks he's crazy. And he's a little crazy too. You gotta be a little bit weird duck, but I think this is actually how you build your strength. Mark Drager, another friend of the channel, is addicted to the Peak Freens cookies. You know, the ones that have the red on the inside and the cream in the middle. Those are among my favorites too. And so his COO, when he heard this, went out and bought all these boxes of Peak Freens and put it on Mark's desk. And he opened it up. And this is one of my favorite things to do. Whenever I'm around Doritos or something I really love to eat, not just say, oh, put that away from me. Don't be around me. I can't have that. And not just look at it. I want to smell it. So Mark took these cookies, brought it right up here. Peak Freen cookies, right up here. Oh, and you can just see the joy on his face just as he's bringing back memories and just what those cookies are gonna taste like when they enter his stomach, and just goodness everywhere, right? The smile on his face, maybe a little bit of drool coming out, you just, and then put the cookies down and walk away. And how great that makes you feel as a human to say, here's one of my biggest weaknesses of all time. Bring it. I own you. Put it down and walk away, right? I think that's how you actually build strength, by doing those difficult things, by triggering yourself for success. Every time I see the Doritos bag, I feel better about myself, I feel stronger about myself, and I want you to do the same thing. If any of you are gonna take on that kind of challenge, I wanna hear you, I wanna follow you, I wanna see how your journey is going, because it can be one of the biggest, most important life-changing decisions that you embark on. The fastest way to accomplish anything is to model someone who has already had the same success that you are after. You can go around trying to figure out everything by yourself, trying to come up with every new idea yourself, and you will slowly make progress towards your ideas. But until you recognize that success leaves clues, that whatever the thing is that you're trying to accomplish has already been solved by thousands and thousands of people, that all you need to do is model their success, until you realize that, you're gonna constantly stay struggling, making slow progress, knowing that you're capable of more. So I first learned the power of modeling success with my first business, where I was struggling. I was 19, 20, not making any money, $300 a month, low confidence, filled with self-doubt, not getting results. You know, I turned down high-paying jobs to do this thing and own 30% of a company that seemed to be going nowhere. And I told my partner that I quit. And the thing that saved me when I hit my lowest point was, I am not the first person to try to solve this problem before. Maybe my specific scenario, yes. Biotech software, you know, from Toronto, who's done that before? Nobody. But a software company getting to $1 million, somebody's done that before. How about I just look at their success and try to emulate it? And so the only person I could think of off the top of my head was Bill Gates. So I looked at Bill Gates and how he got started, and it was through partnerships, and I applied that lesson to my business, and in a short amount of time had my first deal for $13,500. I felt like a rich man. You know, I felt like, holy cow. To go from $300 a month and saying I quit, to now having a deal in place for $13.5K, and more important, the strategy that I could use again and again was life-changing for me. All because I modeled success. And that was, again, when I was 19, 20. So now what have I done for the past 20 years is just model success. What is my YouTube channel about? What is this video about? Modeling success. Why have these people behind me? It's not for you, it's for me. I want to model success. They're constantly pulling me up to a greater spot. Whatever problem you have has been solved. Not exactly the specific minutia, but by modeling Bill Gates, it took me 80% of the way. You still have to figure out that final 20%, but most people are trying to figure out the whole 100. That's the problem. I was struggling when I was trying to figure out the whole 100 all by myself. Just coming up with new ideas, new ways, new innovation, but nothing worked. All you have to do is figure out that last 20%. And so look to your heroes, look to potential mentors, whether you know them in person or not. They've done it before. They can teach you. Success leaves clues. You don't have to go through this alone, and you can ramp up your success really quickly.
Nobody has the exact life you want. Nobody. This is why so many people have a challenge learning from mentors, because you're looking for one person to teach you everything. That one person does not exist because you want a unique life, because the perfect you doesn't exist out there yet. You have to create it. It's on you. And so the way to get through it is to model from different people. It's to look at, I want to learn this from this person, and this from that person, and this from this person, this from that person, and mix all of those things together to build an amazing life for yourself. This is partly why I created my channel. I want to be able to model success from all sorts of different people, and every video that I make, I've learned something from. All the people that I've profiled, I've learned something from them. If I personally, me, Evan Carmichael, haven't learned something from that video, then I don't post it.
If you want to sign up for the entire Billionaire Mindset series for free and get the companion bonus PDF calendar, check the link right there next to me. I think you'll love it. Continue to believe, and I'll see you there.